Hello and welcome back, and today I'm going to do something called a bookish anti-haul. Now, anti-hauls were, or still are, very popular on the beauty community, and they were created by a lady called Kimberly Clark. I think it's Kimberly Clark. I'll leave her channel down below, and essentially the whole premise is to kind of scour the internet and talk about things you are not going to buy and why you're not going to buy them. Because in the beauty community, this is the same. In the bookish community, we place such an emphasis on kind of like consumerism and consumer culture. Like, I make book hauls on a regular basis, and I know that for a lot of people, book hauls are kind of like the most watched videos on their entire channels. So I thought that I've gone through Waterstones, the Book Depository and Amazon to kind of come up with a list of books. So the first book that is on this list has recently come out. It's absolutely everywhere, and that is The Secret Commonwealth by Philip Pullman. This is the sequel to The Book of Dust by Philip Pullman, and I believe that this is in the same fantastical universe as his Dark Materials. I have read the first two books in his Dark Materials. I've read Northern Lights, whatever the first one is called, and whatever the second one is called. I really kind of liked the first book in this series, in like his Dark Materials, and then I listened to the second on audiobook and I just didn't like it. I kind of felt like, because the book was written quite a long time ago, the book had aged pretty badly. I felt like the characters, the kids were just like not good. They were kind of like pompous, unrelatable characters who weren't really behaving like realistic children. I just didn't like it. I kind of thought the fantastical world element was really good, but it was really badly portrayed. I just didn't like it. The second audiobook, couldn't wait for it to finish. I'm pretty sure that it was a 2-star read, and just didn't like it at all. It kind of sucked. I do own the Book of Dust. I picked it up last Christmas or the Christmas before. I don't know why I own it. It's a huge chunk of a book. I might unhaul it. I might try and read it. I'm not really sure. Anyway, I am not going to pick up The Secret Commonwealth at all. I also have a few qualms about some of the comments Philip Pullman has made on Twitter towards the LGBT community, and especially people who are transgender. He has made some very offensive comments, and I don't want to support by buying somebody's book if they've got those sort of views. Like, that's not okay to have today. So I will not be buying this book. I'm not rushing out to live up to the hype because everybody seems to be wanting to buy it. I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to buy it. If you want to buy it, then fairs. However, I don't want to buy it. So the next book is by Veronica Roth, and it is called The End and Other Beginnings, Stories of the Future. Now, many of you may have heard of Veronica Roth because she is the author of the Divergent trilogy, and I really enjoyed Divergent. When Divergent came out, it was my absolutely like favourite. I was rooting. I consumed all the books so quickly, but I picked up her second series, Carve the Mark. One second. I picked up her second series, or a friend lent me Carve the Mark, and well, it was a little bit racist. There was some really kind of weird racial tones in there. The story kind of wasn't that good. It didn't compel me to finish on with the series, and this new set of short stories that she has released is based in that same universe. I kind of think that this is a flop, to be honest. I loved Divergent. I know that Divergent, kind of that series, kind of caused a bit of controversy on YouTube, but I really liked it and I rooted for it. I also liked the films as well. It's sad that they never finished making them. However, I am not going to buy this. Maybe if she writes something like a new series, maybe I'll consider buying that one. However, I'm not going to go out of my way to buy this one. So the next book is by Jojo Miles, and it is called Giver of the Stars, or Giver of the Stars. I'll put the cover up here. And obviously Jojo Miles is really famous for writing the book Me Before You, and there was a lot of subsequent books that kind of came after that. I read Me Before You. I read it when everybody was reading it, when the film first came out. However, it wasn't really my thing. I'm not really into tear-jerking, deep felt romance books. I thought that the premise was quite cool. I kind of liked that Emilia Clarke was in the film. It was alright. Didn't hate it. Didn't adore it. Didn't want to carry on with the series. So didn't bother. And I'm still not interested in Jojo Moyes. Those who puts out kind of a chick lit book every year, and people who love chick lit kind of, you know, read it on the beach, read it on the sofa, easy reading, that sort of thing. And if you love that sort of thing, amazing. However, it is not mine. I will not be going out of my way to read this book, to even buy it. The cover is really pretty. However, it's just not for me. I don't think I'm going to I'm not going to carry on with the series. Her first book was good, wasn't bad, nothing particularly offensive about it. However, I just don't read this type of book unless it's something that's really special or really unique. I'm just not going to bother. One is Two Can Keep a Secret by Karen McManus. And you might know Catherine McManus because she wrote... So Karen McManus wrote the thriller, YA thriller, One of Us is Lying. I really enjoyed One of Us is Lying, and I do want to read Two Can Keep a Secret. However, I will not be going out to Waterstones and buying this book. Partly because once I've read One of Us is Lying, I'm never going to reread it. It was a really good book and I really enjoyed it. However, it's quite rare that I reread mystery and thriller books. Really rare that I reread mystery thriller books. And so because of that, I just think that I'm going to go to my local library and borrow it from the library. Because I can read it, then return it, and somebody else can love it. And number one, I'm not buying something that I'm going to read once and then just get rid of. It seems really wasteful. And number two, use your local library. So I'm interested in this book. I want to read it. However, I do not want to buy it. I might also listen to it on audiobook if I've got the audiobook. Yeah, I might listen to it, but I am not going to buy it. And the final book is The Starless Sea by Erin Mogstein. As most people know, she is the author of The Night Circus, which was a very popular book here on YouTube. I didn't like The Night Circus. I couldn't get on board with it. I thought that it was plotless. I thought that it was boring. At the time, I just wasn't in the mood for an atmospheric book. So I think I borrowed it from a friend. So I just returned it to her and didn't bother. So yeah, I am not going to go and buy her new book, The Starless Sea. I'm not really sure if it's any good. I might want to read it. However, I think if I am going to read it, I'll either borrow it off a friend or I will borrow it from the local library. Because I've not had much luck with this author so far, I think that it's pretty wasteful to go out and buy, especially a hardback book. Like, I buy hardbacks if it's an author that I love. However, if you're a bit unsure, why spend the 15, 20, 10 pounds on a hardback book when you could just support your local library? And yeah, that's that. Maybe it will be my thing. I feel like my reading tastes have changed since I tried to read The Night Circus, and maybe I'll read The Starless Sea and then pick up The Night Circus and love it. Who knows? However, I am not going to pre-order it. I'm not going to go out of my way to buy it, and that is that. So those are all the books that I am not interested in buying. Let me know down below if there's anything you want to buy. Some of these like your favourite books. Just because I don't want to buy them does not mean that you shouldn't buy them. Obviously, this is all personal opinion. Let me know in the comments down below if there's any books that you're not interested in buying, any books you are interested in buying. Let me know how you kind of feel about the whole culture here on BookTube, because I find it super interesting. We all know that I do big book hauls here, and kind of what's that like when we flip it on the head? Let me know down below what you thought of this video, and I will see you again in the next one. Goodbye.